Welcome back to The Grind for another Abyss guide for my Mutant Domination playlist, where we're taking a mutant team down the full Path 5 to help with exploration. Now this is against Symbiote Supreme, and I felt like Apocalypse was my best option, potentially because he is rank 4 and has a higher health pool. This is one of the fights where I did heal up for so that I could survive some of the unavoidable passive damage that we're going to take, and we'll show you how that works. So what's nice is at the start of the fight, you can push Symbiote Supreme into the corner and get some heavy attacks in, chain some in to get some more power, and then we're going to do like any typical APOC fight. We're going to get our special 1, our special 2, our special 3, and then we're going to be focusing on our special 1s. Now, the thing with this fight is every time you land a critical hit, Symbiote Supreme is going to get one of those pink charges, and once you get to 20, Symbiote Supreme is going to gain power over time, but also do damage to you over time. So if you can withstand the damage from that first one, you can squeeze out more damage in the fight. And so that's why I healed up, so that I was able to survive a little bit longer and get a little bit more damage in. And so it did take some health potions to make that happen, because the 20% health was not enough. So now we're going in for our heavy counter into special 2, and we're going to have all 4 of our debuffs active now. So now all we have to do is get up to a special 3 to increase the potency and make them permanent. Now if you get a chance to chain on some heavies in the corner, then that's ideal, but you have to be careful, because you may, while you're charging heavy, Symbiote Supreme might get power enough to throw a special 1, and you don't want that to happen, because you want to save as much health as possible for the unavoidable passive damage. And you can see we're actually quite far into the fight already. We're building up to our special 3 now, and there's only 7 charges landed. I think when that green buff is on Symbiote Supreme, we were landing less critical hits, but maybe that was just a coincidence. So now we're spamming heavies in the corner. Now we're built up enough power for our special 3. So we're throwing that off. We're going to get the permanent debuffs, and that's going to allow us to now cycle special 1s to get the big damage going, because we have Strife on the team that every special attack is going to build up, increase that burst damage that we're going to deal. And now we're at 11 charges on Symbiote Supreme, which is only halfway to the point, well, just over halfway now, to the point that we're going to have to deal with that passive damage. You also want to try to avoid dexing as much as possible and triggering buffs as much as possible, so you don't have to worry about those being consumed by the staggers. And so you want to try to bait the special 1s from a distance as much as possible. But here's a special 1. We're doing over 12,000 damage with each burst from the hits of those special attacks. So pretty decent damage. And again, in this fight, we're hoping to not crit as much as possible. And we're also hoping that we have enough health left over when we get 20 charges that we will be able to survive the damage that it deals. Now, another thing that you can do to help extend your life in this fight and the amount of damage you can do is to take most use of the skirmish timer, so that you have as much damage over time going as possible between your hits, and doing heavy attacks to save the hits as well, like I was doing there, just kind of dancing around, because I was getting close to 20 charges. I want to squeeze out as much damage as I could, and then I took a special to the face. Now that's really not going to help with having enough health to survive the damage over time, even if we would have enough health to do it in the first place. So potentially you'd want to heal to full for this fight. We're getting very close to 20 hits, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough health to survive it or not, but we're crossing our fingers. We're trying to squeeze out as much damage as possible, and honestly, I think this fight's actually gone pretty well, dealing a decent amount of damage before even triggering the first round of that passive damage. Now here we ended up landing 2 critical hits in a row, triggering that damage, and look at us melt. I was a little bit frazzled, and I took another special to the face, which really is not helping our situation. And then we're taking even more damage, and we're at the halfway point now in that damage over time, and I think we're not going to survive. And so I'm worried maybe we're going to barely make it, but still, again, a bit frazzled, and I ended up taking more hits to a special attack, and unfortunately, I think the burst damage from the Dex being staggered killed me. But that's okay. We did 1.5 million damage in that fight with just a single cycle. So if we were able to withstand the damage, we could have probably finished off the fight. So I recommend healing up for that fight. But APOC actually works quite well for it. So let me know what your thoughts are, who you used. I hope this helped, and I hope to see you in the next video.